Hey, it's Kiara here. I'm sitting here editing, and I just wanted to let everybody know that this was recorded before the season 4 premiere of The Bear. So that's where my opinions were coming from. And honestly, I have not finished The Bear season 4 yet at this time that this is being edited. So there's also that. Anyway, enjoyed the video. Been all incompetent, and I swear they choose me. I'm not choosing them. Amen. Amen. Man, child, why you always come running to me? My life. You know what always makes me laugh is that comment that people leave under videos when they're like, no, but they're meant for each other. I scream as they drag me back to the asylum. If you haven't seen that comment, then it's kind of like the girls that get it. But like, no, they're meant for each other. I scream as they take me back to the asylum. Honestly, that's how I feel about Sydney and Carmi. I don't care. I don't care. Stop trying to tell me that they're platonic. Stop trying to tell me that they're platonic. I don't care. The writers need to stop doing what they're doing. If they want everybody to think that they're platonic, they need to get it together. They need to stop writing them the way they are. Or maybe Sydney needs to stop being so charismatic. I don't know what it is. She got to tone it down a notch because it's too much. It's just too much. They're in love. I scream as they drive me back to the asylum. They are in love. They're in love. I don't care what y'all say. I'm gonna be real with y'all though. Like, the inside of my brain is like a never ending cartoon series that should have gotten canceled years ago. Okay? That is what the inside of my brain is like. Like, if someone tells a joke, I'm automatically running the cartoon. The cartoon episode has started in my head. I'm imagining exactly what you said. And in fact, it's been a lot of times where like I'd be laughing at stuff and then someone will turn to me and they'll be like, what are you laughing at? Or like, they'll be like, you still laughing? Or they'd be like, is it really that funny? And it really is. And it really what happens is I'm not even laughing at what you said anymore. At this point, you're not funny. You think you're that funny? Huh. You think I'm sitting here laughing at you? Don't flatter yourself. I'm not laughing at you anymore. I've made like 6 jokes on top of what you said, and it's a cartoon running in my head. I'm not thinking about what you originally said. I'm thinking about the jokes that I made in association with your joke. And now here we are 20 minutes later, and you just see me over here going, and you think that I'm laughing at you. I'm not. I know what they're thinking. Nurse, she's out again. Let's get started with the video. Yara loves TV. Yes, I made a theme song so that I can talk about all my favorite shows. Oh yeah. And this is just your disclaimer that this is not me talking about any of the actors themselves, but more so their characters. Please do not attack me in the comments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, even those who disagree with me. But let's keep it friendly. All right, let's get started with the show.
Obnoxious boys tend to become obnoxious men.
The episode starts off with them talking about their paper boy and how he doesn't deliver the paper on their front lawn. He always just kind of chucks it somewhere, and then it ends up where either the mail or either the newspaper is completely just like in the wrong spot. Oh my God. Basically, he's a terrible, terrible paper boy. So Susan is getting her paper and she looks across the way and sees Carl, her ex-husband, if you guys have forgotten, coming out of Edie's house picking up her paper, obviously indicating that they have slept together because he's also in a robe. And so Susan goes over and she's like, she forbids him to sleep with Edie, be with Edie. And yeah, obviously I think that's insane. Like, they ended on not the best terms, and yes, it would be uncomfortable for her, but I mean, he's kind of right. Like, y'all are divorced. It's like, like literally nothing is off limits. So yeah, if you have not had a chance, please check out the last video in this installment. I have already talked about the first episode of season 2 along with all of season 1, which can be found in a playlist. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, let the
Look at his shirt, it's dirty.
I think you are doing a terrific job.
No, he's not. But also, I mean, the boys are at an age where they could be helping keep the house clean. I mean, I don't think it's going to be spotless, but it would definitely look better than it looks now.
I have low blood sugar. Do you want to see me keel over? No, in theory.
I'm glad she didn't ask me that. I just want to go back and pay attention to, look at her face when she's saying all this.
You know, the hardest thing is to lose a child.
Don't piss me off. Carlos has blocked Gabby's access to his money because he found out about the affair. So now she basically has to come up there every day and have him write out checks to her and have him sign it. Julie and Susan are talking, and Susan ends up finding out that it was after Carl came over to her house. I'm assuming that's when it was. I don't know that for a fact yet, but like he told her something. She's kind of being very vague about what he told her, but I'm assuming it's that time. Apparently that was when he decided to ask Edie Britt out. I'm not gonna lie, yes, obviously I'm happy that a black family has moved in. I want to be very delicate with how I say this. I really hate this storyline. Like, this was one of my least favorite Desperate Housewives storylines. It's a few of them, but this was definitely one of them. So they're sitting there at the table, and the mystery guy that they have locked in the basement is down there making as much noise as he possibly can. I'm assuming like slinking his chains around or whatever, like hitting them on something. And he's doing it to get a rise out of them, obviously because he probably wants out of there. So the mom says that she ignores it because she feels like it's part of her punishment and that they don't talk to him because that's his punishment. Carlos calls an emergency meeting for Gabrielle to meet him at the prison. And at first he's like, you know, there's this guy in here and he just keeps saying things to me. And then Gabrielle is like, well, just tell him you're not interested. Tell him you're flattered, but you know, you don't swing that way. And then Carlos is like, he's not hitting on me, you idiot. He's threatening me. I don't know why that made me laugh.
If we give in to extortion, the guy's just gonna keep coming back for more money.
She's right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I know. Come on in.
Did you see how pretty she looked when like she was standing there in the doorway and like her hair was blowing in the wind? One more time on that.
Yeah, I know. Come on in.
She looks great.
We're not moving in together and we're not broken up.
Okay, so that clears it up. Mike comes over and he's telling Susan that she has all his pants. And then he says, you know, what's going on between us? What are we? He says that they're not broken up, but they're just not moving in together. So, okay, they're not broken up. I thought they were broken up last episode.
Okay, is that it? Anything else we can do? I think at all.
My God, I knew they were gonna make out. Y'all ain't finna keep nothing casual. I'm so over them. They are the will they, won't they couple of this show, and I'm over it. I'm so over them.
All I can do is take it one day at a time. Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Why were you on the phone sobbing to my electrician? People wonder why they haven't seen you cry. Some people actually wonder if you truly mourn Rhett.
Remember, guys, I'm talking about the actual character, not the actual person. So here's what I want to say. This stupid character, Bree, is obviously grieving. I mean, you can't be with someone as long as she was with Rex. I mean, they have 2 children together. She was with him for over 10 years, I'm assuming. Like, of course she is grieving him. She's just not showing it in the way that maybe other people would. But I don't think that it's that she's not grieving. I think sometimes the issue is that some people think that crying is always coming from a empathetic or a sincere place, when sometimes people cry to manipulate. And I'm not saying that's what she's doing. I'm not saying that that's what she's doing. I'm just saying that I do feel like she's kind of milking it just a little bit. I think that she's genuinely sad, but I think that it's also that she's kind of getting off on like how bad people feel for her. And so she's like turning it up a notch, because I mean, you can't really judge how somebody grieves a person. So that's another thing. And I think that's also why she's getting away with it and why Bree didn't just call her on it right away. But like I said, I feel like she's kind of getting some level of like, it's like she likes that people feel sorry for her. Does that make sense? I don't think the grief is fake. I think anybody who loses their child obviously is going to be sad. But I think literally telling anybody who will listen, anybody, the electrician, I don't know. That's what it's saying to me.
I've said that? A few, yes.
And that felt like manipulation. Like her saying, oh my gosh, and people wonder if you even really cared about Rex because you don't cry in public. I feel like that's a load of crap. Gabrielle, you gonna get that money get that money?
Oh, don't even think about it.
Oh God.
Baby, let me ask you a question.
Oh, but she made sure to come out and get that money. That's hilarious.
What do you think of my breasts?
I think they look perfect. I'm sorry. What? Girl, he trying to give you that money for a boob job. I would have took that money and listen, it wouldn't have went to no boob job. That's all I'm gonna say.
But if I don't do it, he'll leave me.
Honey, he's in jail.
And I feel like that's the logic a lot of women use for why they do things they don't want to do when it comes to men. It's like, if I don't do this, if I don't behave this way, if I don't act this way, then, he'll leave me. Girl, and I'm not saying I've never been there. Briefly. Okay, at the end of the day, you're the prize. Don't let these men convince you that you're disposable, because you're not. So this guy in prison is threatening Carlos, as I mentioned earlier, and he asks for $7,000, and Gabrielle was supposed to give it to his girlfriend, and the reason that he wanted the $7,000 was so that his girlfriend could get a boob job, because he wants her to have really, really big breasts. And so she starts saying that she doesn't even want one. She's just afraid that he's gonna leave her. And so Gabrielle reminds her, like, dude, he's in prison. Where is he gonna go? And who else is gonna try to be with him? Like, come on. And so then Gabrielle uses that as a way to get the money back. Lynette and Tom get into this huge thing. Lynette starts beating Tom with a pillow, which was so funny. And honestly, after this, I have to go back and rewatch it again. But anyway, so she starts beating Tom with a pillow because he won't change the sheets after Penny spit up on the sheets. And so she just had enough of like the filth. She decides to go and purchase a rat, which I'm assuming is going to be to convince Tom that there's a real problem with how clean they're keeping things, or how clean he's keeping things. I called her the mom earlier. Her name is Betty, just to be clear. I didn't catch her name before now.
Matthew is something of an insomniac, Susan.
Susan stops Betty and asks her what are the noises that are coming from her house, because it's distracting her and she works from home, so she's able to hear it, and they live really close to each other. She's like, there's noises, and there's like this clanking noise that I keep hearing, and I'm hearing it at 2 a.m. and I just don't understand, like, how could you miss the noise if you're in the house? And then it's so loud, it's so distracting, like all this stuff, right? And so then Betty is like, oh, it's probably Matthew. It's probably Matthew, right? And so she's standing there and she's like, wait a minute, Susan. She's like, wait a minute, there's the noise again. And so then Betty's like, yeah, it's Matthew. It's probably just Matthew. How would Matthew if Matthew behind you? How would Matthew if Matthew behind you? So is Matthew like Mr. Fantastic? This is probably going to spin out into Susan's new investigation. Last season it was Paul. It's probably going to be her this season. I don't remember how this plays out. Why is she still in town? Honestly, yeah. Why is she still in town? Why? Go home. The service ended. Rex has been laid to rest. Go home. Why are you still hanging around? Anyway, so Lynette comes up to Bree and she's trying to, ask her how she's doing. Of course, Rex's mother starts with the, I can't believe it, all this other stuff across the table, which I get it. She's sad. I'm not saying that I'm not some heartless demon. I get it. She's sad. I would be sad too if I had to bury my child. That is very sad. But she literally just said, every time you do that, then all the attention gets focused on you, and I can't get that comforting that I need in my situation because you're taking up you're sucking all the air out of the room. Bree gets up and slaps the crap out of her. And then Lynette is just kind of standing there like, okay. And then she walks off, and then his mother is just stammering. I forgot all about this note. I forgot about the note. It never even dawned on me, did she get the note? I forgot about the note. Rex's doctor says that he's never had any reason to suspect anything malicious between Bree and Rex, but he found that note after Rex passed, and, he just feels like he should let them know. the detective, I'm assuming. Maybe the mom wasn't full of crap when she said that certain people are suspicious that Bree is not showing much emotion. Is that going to be related? Is that going to like work negatively against her? Darn. I hope not. Ain't even gonna cap. Forgot about George. Last we heard of him last season, from what I remember when we last left off with George, he told Bree that people were talking about what they were doing in the bedroom because he secretly had broken into her house. And to my knowledge, they're still on decent, friendly-ish terms. So that's where they're standing at this point. Mind you, she still doesn't know that he was poisoning Rex the entire time, which honestly, it lines up. I thought that it was going to be like a detective getting out of the car trying to question Bree. I thought that was going to be the next scene, but no, they're connecting the dots because they just showed a scene that was talking about how there might have been something going on between Rex and Bree, and you know, there was also those mentions about him being poisoned, you know, and he was asking him like, who makes your meals, all that stuff last season, right? And so then they flash forward to boom, the person responsible for Rex's death, the person who's actually responsible. They do that a lot in shows though. If you like watch a show all the way through and then go back, you can pay attention to like I'm talking about the shows where like the killer or the mystery hasn't been solved and like you don't really know what's what. You don't know like there's a person who's going around murking people, and then it's like what they'll do is they will literally tell you by the order of the scenes a lot of the time exactly who did it. Like they'll be like, but who could have done that? And then the next scene will just be some like average regular scene of the person who did it. But you don't know that that's who they're showing, the actual person who did it. You just think that they're showing like them in the kitchen making a cup of coffee and dancing around, but it's literally the person who did it, and it doesn't get revealed till the very end of the season. There is a term for that I'm learning about in my screenplay writing class. Actually, I think I've already learned the term, but I forgot what that's called when they do that. But a lot of shows do that. Like a lot of shows really tell you exactly who is doing what and who is doing stuff. You just have to be paying attention, especially in Vampire Diaries. They do that a lot in Vampire Diaries. Okay, this has been a long rant. All right, back to the show. George shows up offering Bree an opportunity to go with him somewhere just to get out, have some fun, and kind of try to get her mind off of what she's dealing with. And she's crying into his arms. Guess who sees them? Rex's mom. So I'm assuming, I just feel like this is putting something together here. I feel like we were supposed to laugh at that.
You want me to die in here, don't you? Carlos, life is not worth living unless she has jugs the size of Texas. Now I'm gonna crack the
Is his tooth missing?
one good rib that I have left.
It's not. Gabrielle shows up to the prison to visit Carlos after she didn't give the money to the girl, and Carlos has been through. Okay, he has been, that dude up in that prison turned him every way but loose. And he looks crazy. Like his eyes ain't even open all the way. And he's talking to Gabrielle, and Gabrielle is like, you know what I've realized? Me and this girl, we got a lot in common. And we're not going to keep on being ruled by our husbands and blah, blah, blah. So basically, obviously, she wants to be in a position where she can write checks for herself, as much money as she wants, and have access to those accounts again, which Carlos took away because she cheated. So she's using the fact that she knows Carlos needs her to deliver this money so that this guy stops wailing on him, and she's using that, you know, to her advantage. She's really smart. Like, she makes some dumb choices sometimes. Last season with the John thing, okay, you guys already know how I felt about that. But Gabrielle is not stupid at all.
Carl said it was the best sex he's ever had, bar none.
I don't know. I'm on both of their sides. I feel like Susan should let her have it, but I also feel like Edie deserves her moment because she tried to be friends with Susan and Susan stabbed her in the back. Susan has not been a good friend to Edie, so both of them kind of deserve to get their ones in.
I heard you and the plumber were having problems.
I heard you and the plumber were having problems. Is it over? Like, boy. So remember how Lynette bought the rat so that Tom would clean up, essentially? She was thinking that Tom was just gonna, you know, let the rat outside. Tom ends up killing the rat, smashing him with a shovel repeatedly. And Lynette goes outside to talk to him and tell him thank you for helping her family. And as far as Susan goes, Carl tells Susan that he'll never love any woman the way that he loved her, and that he plans on moving in across the street with Edie. Which honestly, like, no, don't get me wrong. Carl sucks, but Carl's also like really funny. I am excited to see more of his character, so I know that kind of sounds like crazy. Don't get me wrong, he's still a piece of crap. But him moving in across the street provides an opportunity for more with Susan, more with him. So that's how I'm looking at it. And he doesn't really like fully annoy me. I told y'all, she should have kicked her in the face. You're in this lady's house and you're sitting up here calling. She should have kicked her. She should have kicked her. She shouldn't have went to the funeral. I stand by what I said. Man. Because the other side of it for me is like, she can't give a man a hug without that automatically being her boyfriend. Y'all, I went on this whole tangent just now about, oh my God, I'm so glad they're talking about, domestic violence. And, it's really the impact that it has on women. And I've said all this stuff, right? And literally, the medicine was never for her and her nightmares about her experience. It was for the guy that she has trapped in the basement in chains. So now I'm starting to question, did that happen? Did that happen and she just used that to get the medicine? Or did it not even happen at all and she just made that up just to get the medicine? I don't even know anymore. There's that tray and that gun again. I ain't gonna lie, Lynette was really smart for what she did. I hate that the rat had to go in the process. RIP to that man. But at the same time, good job, Lynette. Go Lynette. Go Lynette. Go Lynette. All right, so that wraps up this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. So on the table, they have a jar of something that is just open. The carton right here is just knocked over. There's a box of cereal that's open. There's some kind of wrapper or something right here. There's another bottle right here. I don't know what's going on back here, but it does not look good. And then there's stuff here. I think that's a toy that's on the table. There's a jacket over there. This, I don't really consider that a mess because like she's actively using it. My point is there's stuff open and like there that's not even being touched. And then not even just that. Like they got whatever this situation is over here. They've got a box of cornflakes just out, not put away. They've got like, what is this? And then there's a fried chicken something over here. I don't know. I think behind him there was a bag of bread open. Yeah, why is this open? There's food that hasn't been finished being cooked, or maybe it's leftovers. That's right here. What are you doing, Tom?